You said you liked him early, like you saw him.
I mean, I keep telling this joke. If people say Trump was the first black president, I'm gonna be the first Latino president, because all the values, the conservative values just line up. Come on, man, Trump's the what do you mean? He has his own buildings. What are you talking about? He's like, like Ralph Lauren. Yeah, he made Ivanka.
You like Ivanka?
Yeah. And it makes me feel like they weren't serving my boy, Trump, the way we could have, because, you know, Trump wanted nothing but the best for this country. And it doesn't, like, Moses stuttered. And saying God is not always going to bring the most perfect personality. A lot of times, the most fake people, their job is talking and making people feel comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, and the realest people are going to make you feel uncomfortable at first.
All right, guys. So in a continuation of Kanye's groundbreaking interview with Tucker Carlson in response to backlash him and Candace Owens received for wearing White Lives Matter shirts to a Paris fashion show, Kanye has now taken the attention that he is receiving and putting out a whole lot of truths that the mainstream liberal media does not want to hear. And one truth that Kanye West talked about in his interview with Tucker Carlson is about the promotion of obesity in our society. And he talked about that in relation to Lizzo and the backlash that celebrities receive when they lose weight. And he basically says that this is a promotion of obesity, which is basically genocide for the black community. And I want to talk about that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll the clip.
Now let's talk about Gabby and my good friend Lizzo. Lizzo works with my trainer, a friend of mine, Harley Pasternak. When Lizzo loses 10 pounds and announces it, the bots, that's a term for people like, it's like telemarketer callers, like on Instagram, they attack her for losing weight because the media wants to put out a perception that being overweight is the new goal when it's actually unhealthy. Yes. Let's get aside the fact of whether it's fashion and vogue, which is not. Let's just, or if someone thinks it's attractive, to each his own. It's actually clinically unhealthy. And for people to promote that, it's demonic. You know,
what can I ask? Yeah. I've noticed this also.
Yeah.
Why do you think they would want to promote unhealthiness among the population?
It's a genocide of the black race. They want to kill us in any way they can. Planned Parenthood was made by Margaret Sanger, a known eugenics with the KKK, and I believe that if we saw ourselves as a people and not a race, then we would treat our people better. Like if you go to a Jewish person and you say a race, it almost gets confusing. They'll cut you off quickly and say, we're not a race, we're a people. Well, our people are supposed to just say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. Okay, well, what about, do you own the land that you're living in? Do you own, is the contracts even in a language that's even possibly understandable,
right?
You know, for your heritage, you know, and in America, we as blacks will like down each other on how good we speak, but we're speaking English. There's nothing whiter than English. We're not in our native tongue, actually. So we judge each other on white goal lines, not based on exactly what our culture is based on.
Yeah, so something that I picked up on a long time ago in regards to black men who tend to lean conservative is that a lot of them have listened to this guy called Chronicles of Judah, right? They've been influenced by him. I know for a fact that Jason Whitlock definitely listens to Chronicles of Judah like I have. And I think that Kanye has as well too. I think at this point, Chronicles may be the single biggest influence in regards to black men becoming more conservative than anybody on the planet, really, to be quite honest with you. You guys know who I'm talking about, right? Some of you know who I'm talking about. But let's get to the crux of what Kanye West is saying here, because I think the things he's saying here is so true and it should be shared. Because what is happening in regards to the promotion of obesity in our society as a good thing, as something that's not unhealthy, is actually, in my opinion, contributing to what you could define as genocide, right? And, you know, what's funny about this is that the mainstream liberal media, they love to talk about what disproportionately affects black people negatively, okay? Things like police brutality and the effect that it has on black lives, right? Because according to them, black lives matter. But they don't want to talk about things that negatively, disproportionately affect black people that actually are responsible for most of the black deaths, black people losing their lives in this country, which has to do with obesity and all the health-related illnesses and diseases that people get from obesity. Like, for example, heart disease, diabetes, cancer, you know, all those things people get because of obesity for the most part. And this negatively, disproportionately affects black people, but you don't hear the mainstream liberal media talking about it, right? All the hundreds of thousands, if not millions of black people that die every single year from these diseases that are obesity related. Instead, they're actually doing the exact opposite. They're telling you that it's totally fine to be overweight. It's totally fine to be obese. It's totally fine to be healthy, while at the same time claiming that they care about black lives. But the number one killer of black lives, they don't really care about. They really don't want to talk about it. But they want to talk about police brutality, which, you know, kills maybe, what? I don't know, 100 black people a year, if that, mainly black men. But again, something that takes the lives of millions of black people a year, nah, you don't really care. Same thing they do with abortion. Same thing they do with gang violence, right? And black on black crime. They don't want to talk about any of the things that actually are responsible for a vast majority of the black lives in this country being taken. But they want to tell us that they care about black people so much, right? Again, while at the same time, actually not just ignoring it, but also just promoting and excusing some of these behaviors, right? Again, like obesity, they're promoting it. Abortion, they're promoting it. They're totally fine with glorifying gang violence, right? Look at the way they push some of this music on young people, music that is poisoning people's minds. They're totally fine with pushing the things on black people that are killing them the most, again, while at the same time telling them how much they care about black folks, right? And how they're the ones that's not racist, okay? And I want to touch on the Lizzo thing real quick, because I think the point that he was making there, again, is important, because the way that they influence people is through celebrities, okay? I can't think of a specific time in which Lizzo was shamed for losing weight, but I do remember the mob shaming Adele for losing weight, right? So Adele decides to lose weight because she wants to live a healthier lifestyle. She wants to look better. She wants to feel better. And I remember them shaming her because she lost weight, okay? So it definitely happens. It definitely happens. When not too long ago, when we used to have a sane society, we were praising celebrities that lost weight, right? We said, oh, such and such and such lost weight. That's great. That's amazing for her. Now we're doing the exact opposite, right? And you know who watches the most TV, right, in this country? Black people, right? So again, when you're promoting this stuff and pushing this stuff on celebrities and using celebrities to push this message, the people that get influenced the most literally are black people, because we consume the most television, unfortunately, right? Unfortunately. So with that being said, what I find funny about this and what Kanye is saying is that he's getting a whole lot of backlash, right? Because of his political views, because of stuff that he's saying. But I'm just like, what Kanye is saying is the most pro-black stuff that I've ever heard, right? What a lot of black conservatives say, or people that tend to lean more conservative, is very pro-black, right? I mean, he's saying, look, lose weight, right? Live a healthy life. I don't want you to die early. I don't want us aborting black babies, right? I believe in capitalism. I believe in ownership, okay? Working hard, not making excuses, not being a victim. apparently that's sellout talk, right? Apparently that's Sambo talk. Apparently that's anti-black according to black liberals who believe in the exact opposite of that. But again, black conservatives are coming out here and saying things that actually really are positive messages and beneficial to helping black people get ahead, okay, and to be successful. But for whatever reason, that's seen as a bad thing. Black liberals will come out here and say things that literally are terrible for black people, promote things that are terrible for black people, that causes black people to lose their lives. And for whatever reason, they're praised as being for black lives, right? It really blows my mind how backwards we become as a society. It's to the point where people aren't really actually thinking about somebody's message and what it means and the impact of their message, what they're actually getting at, the behaviors that they're trying to promote, right? They don't think about that. What they think about is that, okay, well, is this something that the Democrats told us is a racist thing to say, right? That's literally what it is. That's literally what it is. It blows my mind. You can come out here and say things that objectively are good, that saves black lives, and that can be seen as a bad thing because apparently that is what white conservatives agree with or the Republican Party agrees with. So therefore, it's bad. By definition, it's bad. Regardless of whether it's actually good or not, it's just bad. Democrats and liberals can push things that are objectively bad for black people, but by definition, it's good because Democrats and liberals say it's good. Again, it really blows my mind. I don't understand how we've gotten to this point, but it relates back to that video I did when the dude on Twitter called me a racial slur because I simply said that I don't believe that we need to race swap original white characters, basically make white characters black in order to, I don't know, have black representation in Hollywood, okay? I don't think we need to do that. I said I would much rather see original black characters in original stories about black characters than I would to see a rehash story in which you basically race swap white characters for black characters. That's what I said, which again is the most pro-black thing that you can say, but for whatever reason, I'm a sellout because I said that, right? I'm a racial slur, right? Because I said that. But again, it just goes to show that people don't actually listen and think when they hear people talk about this stuff. They just say, well, the Democrats and liberals said that race swapping is good and that is anti-racist. So anybody that says anything different must be a sellout, right? He must be a sellout. He must be against black people. And it's like, no, I'm not against black people. I'm actually very pro-black and pro-America, which in my opinion is pro-black, right? Being pro-America is being pro-black. Right? It just so happens that the conservative ideology, an ideology that I think is most beneficial for black people. I'm just saying. That's just my opinion. So again, I think it's interesting the backlash that Kanye gets from the black community when, again, he is saying things that, in my opinion, if black people took to heart, we would be in a much better place in society. But nope, he's a sellout, right? He's a sellout. However, Democrats, though, and liberals can come out here and tell you that, hey, you should kill your babies. You should be overweight and obese. You shouldn't have any, real standards for you, right? It's okay if you're dumb. It's okay if you're stupid. It's okay if you kill each other and you terrorize each other in your own communities and neighborhoods, right? In fact, we're actually going to not punish you for it. We're going to let you out of jail so that you can continue to terrorize and kill each other. And for whatever reason, people see that as, the most pro-black thing ever. It really blows my mind. It really does. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a black conservative perspective. Peace.